Good morning, everyone. Aloha. You are tuned into the Neutral Zone. Good morning. Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. I've been around for a long, long year. So many men sold away. And I was around when Jesus Christ had his moment of doubt and faith. Made damn sure that Pilate washed his hands and sealed his fate. Pleased to meet you. Hope you get my name. But what puzzling you is the nature of my game. Good morning, everyone. Aloha. My name is Jason Schwartz, and I am your host at the Neutral Zone. It's anything but neutral. Today is January 27th of 2020, and I had a guest scheduled today, in fact, but she hasn't arrived as yet, and she may still show up, we'll see. But that means you got extra time with me, so I'm going to probably ramble left and ramble right and see where we go, play a little music, talk about stuff. I think this is show number 76. I've been doing these weekly since the middle of June of 2018, so that's about where we are. Because it's a Monday, I've missed a number of shows because of holidays. You know, every time there's a Monday holiday, the studio is closed for the holiday, and they play something from the past. So anyway, it turned out to be 76 shows. For a while, at least, this is the last show that you will see from me in this time slot. 11 o'clock on Mondays. Since the beginning, I have had you've seen this ball that's on my logo, and it bounces into the screen. That's television, and I've submitted these as television shows, and I really think that that's the way that most people see us. At this point, the voice of Maui, I have people that have heard me on the radio, but most everyone has seen me as a TV show. And to establish that and really create a visible presence, I am going to be out in the world as the Neutral Zone, MauiNeutralZone.com. You'll see all the shows. And develop advertising sponsorship at a television level with advertising, and then maybe if there's a slot on the radio, I'll come back on radio and show you these shows. In fact, I have some interesting guests coming up. Next week I have Sonny Elliott. Now, you saw Dwayne Elliott here. We talked about Boys to Men numbers of weeks ago. Boys to Men, helping young men into adulthood and having men go into schools and being there as a presence for young men that need some help and a father figure, if you will, and just general support. Well, Dwayne's father, Sonny, is an extraordinary man with an extraordinary life and career, and so we're going to have an interview with him. And then the week after that, I have a gentleman that I'm interviewing named Brad Starks. Some people know him as a photography guy. Some people know him as associate producer in the movies doing stuff. He'll be a very interesting conversation, and we're going to have him. And maybe we'll be here on radio. It's just a matter of, I want to say, making it clear that this is really a television show-driven program rather than just a radio show. And so I just want to make sure that the presence on the website is integrated that way for potential sponsors. So that's what's going on. But otherwise, the content will be pretty much the same. I do have, by going out in the field, not only do we get to enjoy beautiful Maui, my partner Ariel and I have done, 600, 700 shows that have been both on here on Akaku and up on the web. And now we get to be out in the field again, and the neutral zone will be out in the field. We've had some interesting guests that here on radio we really didn't show you some of the things that we were talking about, but so these new shows will be television shows, and so that's what's up. So anyway, today my guest, Hannah Bernard. Hannah Bernard, many people know, is the Maui Marine Life Sanctuary, and she was one of 4 people honored this last November 2019 on the Walk of Heroes, and I thought we'd get up close here and personal and talk to her about all that she's been doing all these years. She's been a champion for our animal life and in the ocean, and just for the whole, I think of it as a whole other kingdom. She's been like the queen, making sure that here on land, she's not Aqua Woman, but I guess she's the land equivalent, really honoring the water and standing out there as a champion to make sure that the sea life has a chance. You know, we've watched our island and our whole world kind of discount all the things they do, and the dumping ground of putting all our waste in the ocean, and overfishing, and all kinds of things that happen in the ocean. So she's really a terrific lady and a great champion for the ocean. So maybe she'll walk in with us. If not, maybe we'll have her on a TV show here one day soon. I am going to play a couple of songs for you and see if she'll walk in. I may be gone from the screen for a minute and try to reach her, and that way we'll know if she's coming or not, right? So let's see what we got here. How about this one? Let's see if you know this song. I imagine you may not. This is called Stardust Road. I've played it here before.
When I lived down in the country, I used to dream of money and fame. So me and my girlfriend Margot came out to L.A. And while Margot was a waitress and I was a fixing cars, we kept it all together, pretending we were stars. Margot was in the movies and I was singing the rock and roll. We would go out by the highway to a make-believe place called Stardust Road, and we made believe it was spotlights from the cars passing on their way. The roar of the engines was our crowd as we got up on the stage. The trees are full of people calling for us to begin, and we played all night 'cause that highway crowd kept calling us back again. They would stand and call our names out loud and beg us not to leave, and if anyone could see, we gave them a memory to last forever. Well, now Margot is in the movies and my album has just gone gold. The phone's been ringing off the wall and I can't find time alone. So when Margot's tired of interviews and I can't sing another song, we go back out to the highway, to the place we still call Stardust Road, and we make believe it's spotlights from the cars passing on their way. The roar of the engines was our crowd as we got because it keeps us free. And if anyone can see, we give them a memory to last forever, to last forever, to last forever.
Well, when I hear that, I hear it's amazing. The Moog synthesizer. This was done before, and that was in the early days of music synthesizers. That was in the studio in Los Angeles. It was an interesting group of players that came from all kinds of different bands that were at the time. Who would believe that the guitar player for Iron Butterfly, David Doran, would be working with Jay Wolf, who was a country bass player from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and Jim Drennan, a gospel preacher who played keyboard from, he was also from the South, ended up with a church in Florida. And then the background singers were Natalie Cole had people. She was in the studio there in Los Angeles, and her background singers heard what I was doing, and they wanted to come in and sing background. We have them, and we have my brother, and a gal that I wrote songs with, and a lady from Police Academy. Remember there was a black lady in Police Academy series? Marion Ramsey played Officer Hooks, who was in that Police Academy series. She was there in the background. That was a lot of fun. And the Greatest Laid Plans of Mice and Men. We're going to release that song, and then the guy that wrote it with me signed it to Screen Gems Music. And suddenly I wasn't able to release it, so that was a very funny experience. But anyway, that was Stardust Road. And I'm going to play, here's a song by a friend of mine. You guys know him. You know him as a great Hawaiian artist, but here's before that. When Jack Lewin was running for governor here in Hawaii, my friend Lono wrote a song, and when he wrote it, he said, "You should sing this one." So we went in the studio, and I sang a couple of songs there, and this one is called Unlock the Hope. The time has come to make a change. The time has come to unlock the hope that lives in each and every one of us. And we must do our part. We hold the visions God dreams of. Our hands can heal the ones we love. Let's gather round and let us make a stand. For you and me, unlock the hope and there's a better life. Unlock the hope, there'll be no turning back. But nothing changes unless we unlock the hope. The time has come to make a change. The time has come to unlock the hope that lives in each and every one of us. And we must do our part. We hold the visions God dreams of. Our hands can heal the ones we love. Let's gather round and let us make a stand. For you and me, unlock the hope and there's a better life. Unlock the hope, there'll be no turning back. But nothing changes unless we unlock the hope. But nothing changes unless we unlock the hope. But nothing changes. Unless we unlock the hope. 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 Very funny. Unlock the hope. That was written to try to encourage people to realize that they need to step up and be part of something rather than sit on the sidelines. It was to try to encourage young people. And it really was never released. And you've heard it maybe a couple of times. But I think it's interesting because here we are on January 27th of 2020. We're right in the middle of the Senate portion of the impeachment trial of President Donald J. Trump. And we have an election coming up here this year in 2020 for president. And there's confusion all over. In the news, we see absolutely, I mean, I call it proof. I don't know what it is that people need to see, that when someone says it with their own words, that we should be blocking aid until we get the scoop on Biden and his son and political rivals. We may not think that some Republicans think it's not impeachable, but maybe our society now thinks that light and think it's not a big deal. And quid pro quo, I mean, scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, shouldn't be going on in politics from the White House. But it is, and our founding fathers thought it important enough to include into the words of the United States Constitution about things just like this. And I think they had long wisdom. And although things are going on now, if you were young and you had never voted, would you feel like now is a time where you could make a difference? That's what this song was about. unlocking the hope. When Jack Lewin ran for governor, he had been the head of the Department of Health. He was a very dynamic and progressive guy and had many great ideas to be able to help and was open to hearing more. Maybe young people after a while start to get less and less interested. We see that the voting rolls aren't that great at all in general. But the young people right now could make a difference. Whatever happens here with this Senate impeachment trial, I can't even project what's going to happen, but every day more and more comes out that seems to be available for everyone to know. Maybe years ago, information didn't get out because we didn't have internet. We had just a few networks for our news and information. But in this day and age, and many of the young people have lived their entire lives with internet and cell phones and instant communication. So the world is really a different world. But there's no question that we need people to get out and make their voices heard, not only on the issue of president, but on all issues. This show was established by me because I'd been doing election interviews, again, not as part of this station, but independent, for 14 election seasons. That's 28 years I've been doing these shows and interviewing candidates one-on-one, much like you're seeing me do here, to speak to them and not keep shooting questions at them, but keep it more casual so that you can see who they are. Because I think that's really important. I've come to really like some of these council people because I've gotten to know them personally. And when they go up and vote, I may not even agree with all of them all the time. That's clear. But if they can explain why they vote for something and not be afraid to open up about it, we can see in national politics where the politics of it all has people close-lipped. You can see when you hear them being interviewed or see them being interviewed that they have more that they would like to be saying, but it's just not coming out because of the potential retribution from different parties about their future in their political roles. So it's a very confusing thing. And here locally, just in yesterday's news, I think it was last night, I saw that Mike Victorino went with other mayors to Washington, D.C., and the headline read, the mayor likes to support the rollback of environmental rules, because after they met with the President Trump. Well, anyone that's thinking of the environment as sacred and sees all these global problems as more than just a fantasy, science has proven that we have climate change and that there are things happening that need to be addressed as an emergency. And, Mike is right, Mike Victorino, that we have an emergency for housing and we're not moving on it. And, if we create 300 or 400 units a year, that if we need 25,000 units in 10 years, say, you're never going to get anywhere close. And so that's why I think he's referencing that we should break the environmental rules or leave it open to break them. But you imagine, if you've listened to my show, you've heard me talk with different people. When I talk to someone who can take water from the air, and these units can be in houses and commercial, but in houses and in things, you wonder, well, that means that we can put housing with water, and we can get power from the sun, we can get power from green waste. We've had people on show talking about all kinds of things here, but the question is, who and where is it being put together? So I've tried to see our Mayor Victorino. I used to be able to see him when he wasn't mayor, but now that he's mayor, there's this entourage, and Sort of like what's happened here with me in this show. There are people, and it doesn't get seen by the big guy, and so, things change. We have to make changes. But here, Mike says he'll revisit the idea of those environmental rules being back in place after we have enough housing. But we don't need to break environmental rules to get enough housing. It's because the ideas that we share aren't being seen or aren't being considered really as an idea. I don't think they're being seen, because anyone and everyone that has seen these solutions recognize, especially now, that solutions, I was going to use the word Trump, solutions should stand louder than our pocketbook. We know that there's plenty of money around. It's a matter of choice. And if the choice is to be selfish on the short term, and that in the long run those things don't matter, then that's the way people react. And if people don't get involved, and we don't unlock the hope, if the young people, old people too, don't feel like their voice means very much, then they don't get involved and they don't vote. I want to remind people, although this is early, you can register to vote now, but you can register up until the day of the election. That was quite a big change that happened here in the state of Hawaii. So it's not time to give up on that, and realize that if we get the vote out, and as long as I'm alive, I remember Rock the Vote, trying to get people to the polls to vote. Public sentiment is really hard to evaluate, and it's where it counts is at the ballot box. Somehow people feel like it's giving them license to do what they do because they were elected. Well, I think it's time for people to make themselves even more heard, because I really don't believe that young people want to sacrifice their futures for the now, and that they would like to see more housing built in the wrong places, and then later, when all of us are dead and gone, they're faced with things that we did now that made it worse then. Doesn't make sense, but that seems to be what's going on. Now, I have been talking up a storm. I'm going to give some time to our sponsors, and then I'll be back. The Neutral Zone with me, Jason Schwartz, would like to sincerely thank David Bryan for his support. David was founder and head of school at New Road School in Santa Monica, California, and is the board chair at the Ojai Foundation and on the board for Brave New Films. The Neutral Zone is heard live Mondays at 11 a.m. here on KAKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui, and again on Saturdays at 7 a.m., as well as on TV and on MauiNeutralZone.com.
Do you have something to say but can't find an outlet? Did you know that Akaku offers a service called Open Mic? Here, you can come in and make a statement on any topic you want, and it's free. Play a song you wrote, recite a monologue, do a funny dance, comment on a recent event. The floor is yours. Come speak your mind for free. Appointments are available Mondays and Wednesdays between 1 and 3. Call 871-5554 today to reserve your spot.
Get ready for compassionate computers that can relate.
Today, computers don't really know what we're feeling, but they can see and sometimes touch us. And from that, they can start to observe things that may correspond to our innermost feelings.
Empathetic electronics that feel your pain and your joy on the next Big Picture Science.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived in Philadelphia. Local time is 3:05 p.m. and the temperature is 67 degrees. At this time, you are now free to use your cellular devices.
You know that feeling when you get to turn your phone on after the plane lands? You can have that feeling every time you drive. Make sure your cell phone is stowed away whenever you are behind the wheel.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Jason Schwartz, host of The Neutral Zone. KAKU is a listener-supported station. This means that all of the great programs you hear, like mine, are sponsored by you as well as our underwriters. If you would like to help keep the voice of Maui talking loud and clear, go to kakufm.org/donate today and give. And don't miss the Neutral Zone Mondays at 11 a.m. on 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui. Well, looks like we're back. I was going to play a couple more of those, but I guess we're back. I want to be sure to announce this. You know, you may not know that Akaku Upstairs is a series that has been ongoing with different guests in the evening, 6 to 7:30 p.m. This Thursday, January 30th, we have pesticide-free Maui. No panic, let's go organic. Autumn Ness is going to come in and share with people all that she knows, or at least surely an important portion of it, to try to encourage people to realize just how important this is and to get away from these pesticides. It's amazing but true. I'm sure you know that we have had incredible guests here. There's been tremendous work by the organizers of this to have great people, and a lot of these shows, if not all of them, can be found up on the website, I'm sure, with links. Pesticide-free Maui, Thursday, January 30th, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Akaku Upstairs, 333 Dairy Road, Suite 204 in Kahului, Maui. And if you're not on island, surely you can listen to it and see it afterward, because I know they record them all. That's a really great thing. And Akaku has really been a wonderful part of my life, and I hope it's been a good part of your life. Public access television, to be able to bring your ideas out and make them available for everybody else. Well, that's what I've done for, 20-something years. And I've been on radio here a year and a half. It is always a pleasure to be here with you, because you, our listening audience, are the most important. Here on radio, you can find this either at Facebook Live at KAKU FM 88.5 in Facebook. You can also find it at MauiNeutralZone.com, which is a website where I have all of our Maui Neutral Zone shows. And through there, you'll see links to some of our sponsors. I want to really thank our sponsors. We've had Nokaoi Motors. We've had my brother, David Bryan. We have had Richard Dan and Kama'aina Loan. And we've had the Maui Arts and Music Association. Even we sponsored our own show. I just haven't gone out into our community to get radio sponsors. It's we have a fixed rate schedule, and anyone that wants to be sponsoring radio can contact Akaku or KAKU at 871-5554, which is 808-871-5554 if you want to be a sponsor of radio. If you want to be a sponsor of TV, there is no rate schedule, which is why I'm making this, I think it's pretty drastic move, to get off radio so I get known as a TV show, so that if I want to get presence as a television show, we can go out and get sponsors that way. And I just don't want to do it the reverse way. I want to do it. In fact, I have a couple of appointments to see people about that. But if we're not a radio show, then there won't be any question. We're not a radio show, we're a television show. And then the television show, if there's space on radio, can get a place on radio. And then it won't be any question. We're a television show and a radio show, because that's just the sound. We've had some people here that you would really like to see. That's why I'm really glad Facebook Live is here, and we've been able to take that and turn these into television shows by putting it on Akaku, Maui community. We don't call it television anymore. Now we call it media. I still have a television, but I think they now call those, what do they call them, big screens? And we can use them for anything. At home, I have a 58-inch screen attached to my little computer. And that it is big. It's almost virtually life-size, it seems, especially when it's up close. We have some time, and I may talk about some things, but I think we should play some music. Here's a song written by my friend Lono. Again, now this is older music that some of you probably haven't heard from him because he's been doing Hawaiian music now for numbers of years. But he's a terrific writer, and this song was the theme song of our television show, Mama Presents, Maui Arts and Music Association Presents, that I did with Ariel for 20 years. God. Here's the song, Maui Style.
No matter where you go, no matter what you do, take that Maui style with you. Cause if you ain't Maui styling, you just living on an island. Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 There is sunshine in your heart. It's been with you from the start. Lift your head, look to the heavens, then you will feel brand new again. Don't stop me now, Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Reach out your hand and help each other. Your mother, your father, your sister and brother. There is love in this family. Pick yourself up and get on your feet. Don't stop me now, Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Okela styling, Nakaibalu styling, Hawaiian styling, Kie styling, Mawamaula styling, Lahaina styling, Laula styling, Napili styling. Don't stop me now, Maui styling. We will all reach the finish line. The six of us, no one left behind. We're all winners, no matter what. When there is love in your Maui heart, don't stop me now, Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Makena styling, house country styling, Kaupo styling, Kahanapali styling, Hana styling, Waihu styling, Bahia styling, Keanai styling. Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Maui styling, Maui styling, don't stop me now.
Maui styling. I remember when Lono told me how many of the canoe clubs, they always were excited when they heard their name in the song. So that was very fun. You know, that's true in Maui, that people in a boat, sitting in a canoe, all together, learn to function as one. Sort of like we all like to think our world should start thinking and functioning as one. You know, it's a very important message, I think. You know, I just was realizing the Grammys just happened. And I want to give congratulations to Peter Cater. He won a Grammy for his instrumental album. And Kalani Pea, he also won a Grammy. I don't know if it's sad, but it's clear Amy Hanaiali'i has been nominated 6 times for a Grammy, and she is an extraordinary talent, a beautiful lady, and I think that she should get a special award. She has been an extremely giving and just a really talented person who's really touched the hearts of so many here. I hope that she gets a Grammy here. We'll see what the next album will be. Maybe 7 will be the charm to get a Grammy, but recognized or not, people can do great work, and that's the most important. So I recognize Amy Hanaiali'i as a really talented person. And Lono. Lono has written some old-style Hawaiian music, honoring the Hawaiian language and honoring his roots. He's over in Molokai, and he actually is still quite a guy. Here's one of the songs from him. Let's see if you know what this one's about.
But he hears every word. Will he ask me to stand beside him I know he has forgiven, so let him touch you now. Let him into your life, there you will stand beside him. You will feel his love if we call his name. If we call his name, he will hear us. He will hear us from the mountains, he will hear us from the waters, he will hear us from the valleys, he will hear us when we pray, he will hear us when we're crying, he will heal us from this pain, he will take it all away and make us brand new again. He will hear us from the mountains, he will hear us from the waters, he will hear us from the valleys, he will hear us when we pray, he will hear us when we're crying, he will heal us from this pain, he will take it all away and make us brand new again. If we call his name, 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 if we call, yeah, he loves you now, he loves you now, he loves you now, he loves you.
Call His Name by Lono. That's a song he wrote. It's so interesting. Religion, a lot of people, well, clearly that was Christian based, right? The direction of a God outside ourselves who we pray to, and he will hear us and make our lives better. I don't know if I agree with that, but that's just my opinion. I think that it's the God in all of us that needs to take action, step up, unlock the hope, do things to help everyone, and give everything we got to making it a better world, and not really only relying on something outside of ourselves to suddenly, I don't want to call it magically, whatever that is. So, I've had an experience actually where I saw Jesus. I went into the hospital and I had a pacemaker put in. How about the first time I'm in a hospital, I get a pacemaker put in. But on the way down going to the operation, I said, this is a good time to pray. And I closed my eyes and I saw my parents and my grandparents. And this guy, he looked a lot like Jesus. Well, I'm a Jewish kid. What's Jesus doing there? So I've had some experience with Jesus. And then when I got out of the surgery, going down the hall, there he was again, smiling. And so that was quite a great experience. So to me, I recognize that religion and all religions are all to try to give us some comfort and give us some focus on, I hope, on doing good. I hope all the religions of the world can honor each other, no matter what people are thinking, that we kind of lighten up and stop being so polarized. And in our countries, if we could learn to care more about each other and not be so polarized and not be so selfish. There are things going on here in our community that I don't bring up here because I guess it really isn't my I don't want to lead into stories before the people get a chance to tell them themselves. But there's been some very harsh activity here on Maui. It makes me feel like this is very much like the mainland. Give you an example. Down in Kihei, there's a beautiful man, a black man, who does, what is he? He runs a dojo, and he teaches, among other things, kendo, which is a martial art Japanese tradition. And to see people coming out and expressing their hate, and because they think it's whatever they think, just expressions of hate really have no place in my world, and surely they have no place on Maui. I'd think of them as no place in the world, but at least here on Maui, we should start really being aware to be better to each other and to be more inclusive of our decisions that can help everyone. There are many people that are homeless, there are many people that are houseless, and many of them feel no hope. And many of them have I've gone out and talked to some of them. Maybe as we're doing TV here more, I'll go out and bring some of them up close and personal to you on TV. But there are lots of solutions that we can do if we just somehow realize that we can all give a little, and give a little means a lot and can do a lot. I am going to play another song here. Now this one is written by a beautiful lady. Many here know Louise Lambert and see her playing around. She's, I don't know what style you may know her. She is a very versatile piano player, keyboard player, and she plays guitar, and she sings, and she teaches kids voice. She's a great lady. Well, she wrote a song that won a festival award. You've heard it played here before, but it's worth hearing it again because it's a beautiful song. Peace in Our Hearts.
Every day worlds are born and worlds die away. Seems like now the world's so small, we see it all right here on our TV. Seems like the more we bridge the distance, the harder it becomes for us to see. Well, if all the world's a stage, we're actors in a play with an ancient script of fear and doubt and greed. To write another page, to find a better way. Reverence for life is what we need for peace in our world, for peace in our country, for peace on our street, peace in our house. It starts with peace in our all our future to keep the hooded horsemen from the door. We're talking peace, we're building bigger weapons, so it's closer than it ever was before. But in the land of the free and the home of the brave, why do so many people need a gun? If it were just you and me, the world could be saved. 'Cause deep inside we know what must be done for peace in our world, for peace in our country.
on our streets. It all starts with peace in our hearts. Yep. You know, a very, very beautiful sentiment. And it's been a pleasure being here on radio with you. I hope to come back and do some of this again. I like this situation. We have Tony on the board. Tony has his own show, the local show. He's been terrific. I've really appreciated working with him and Renee, who's here, our station manager. And it's been a really nice place here at it's a kind of cozy little studio, KAKU FM 88.5. Remember, you can watch this show and all our shows at MauiNeutralZone.com, and you can see us floating, well, a lot of these shows, most of them, on the television station that we have here, Akaku. I don't know which one it's on even. And there's supposedly a time slot, but I don't even know what it is, but it doesn't matter. You can just look it up and you can watch it, and you can go to the website and see it, MauiNeutralZone.com. Thank you for being with me here today. And next week I have an interview with Sonny Elliott, which you'll see up by Tuesday, February 11th, which is the day after when the show would be here. I may be here. We'll see whether things get worked out easily here or whether I have to make my point more clear by not being on radio and just being submissions as a television show so we can get present on TV on the website. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been a pleasure. We will see you again.